Hey, how's it going? It's Dylan, the Grumpy Stew, the world's grumpiest flight attendant, and you're listening to the Grumpy Stew podcast, the comedy podcast for us. It's for us, the flight attendants out there. Isn't that neat? This is episode 46, and good to have you listening. Man, this summer is crazy. It is absolutely insane. Business travel still not quite back, but you know who is back? The ass clowns who ask if the juice is freshly squeezed. Those assholes are back. Yeah, it's freshly squeezed. Crack that can of Minute Maid orange juice right in front of them. By the way, however you listen to this podcast, make sure you like and subscribe to it, and that way you never miss an episode. Everything Grumpy Stew can be found at thegrumpystew.com. Make sure you check that out. Have a decent little show for you for once, you know. All the usual rants, raves, crass humor, and aviation news commentary coming up ahead. But first, got a little message from our sponsors. Introducing Herpes Pizza, the only pizza that keeps coming back. Just place your order today and have reoccurring cases, pizzas, 4 to 10 times a year. Herpes Pizza is the fun pizza that has pepperoni that look just like cold sores. And it comes with a free shot of penicillin. And for a limited time, includes a free side of syphilis. Call 1-800-I-JUST-TESTED-POSITIVE for free delivery. Well, I don't know about that Herpes Pizza. I think that's a little too adventurous for my taste, but I don't know. Hey, maybe you're into that kind of thing. No judgment. Anywho, so I had some random thoughts. Some random thoughts I've written down. I thought I'd just share some random things that, just bubble up to the surface, my very limited surface of my brain. And, I'm not, a very smart person. So some of these may not, be the most well thought out, flushed, intelligent, mature, random thoughts. I'm sure you have better random thoughts. But I thought I'd share anyway. All right, so a random thought I had is, and I don't remember what sparked this memory, but do you remember when you were in school and teachers like, well, that's going on your permanent record? Like it was really important. That's going on your permanent record. I'd like to see this permanent record. Sounds important. Maybe I should check it for mistakes, But nothing's come back to me yet, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. Here's another random thought. I have decided that the ideal child is basically a narcoleptic that sleeps all day and gets up only occasionally to piss and eat. Essentially a teenager, I suppose. But I think that's an ideal kid. A kid like that stays out of trouble and really quiet. You have to appreciate that. Here's another random thought. London hotels. Are all of them super small, or is it just the hotel we use? I swear to God, the rooms are so freaking small the mice have back problems. Little dude's coming up to me asking for a chiropractor recommendation. The first time I stayed in London, my very first layover in London, the room was so small I had to stand on the bed to open the closet. I wish I were kidding. And European bathrooms, to begin with, are a complete mystery to me. London, the hotel that we use in London, just like this tiny little fucking sink and a tiny little the sink, the like amenity area is so small that they barely give you soap or anything like that. It's just like this little tiny thing that they could fit in there. The shower, half your ass is hanging out of the back of the shower. Not a good look. Not a good look. And it's either your ass is freezing or you turn around to warm up your back and your balls shrink up. It's one of the two. You can't have low-hanging balls and a warm butt. It's just not possible, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's a little trick to wake you up in the morning. I don't know. Let's see here. Zurich. I just recently had a Zurich layover, my first Zurich layover since the pandemic, basically. I love Zurich. I miss Zurich a lot. Zurich is my speed. It is not the most exciting place on the planet. How can I put this? Just like on a Friday night, the sidewalks roll up at 7, okay? Not exciting. It is very much my speed. I'm boring. I just want to have dinner, walk around, have a drink or two, go back to bed. That's me. If you want to go to the clubs and you want to party and you want to do all this other exciting shit, go to Amsterdam. Don't go to Zurich. Anyway, I was just in Zurich, and it was their major national holidays, National Day, and I got to see the Swiss with their hair down for the first time. And I gotta tell you, it was just a bunch of white people hanging around listening to traditional Swiss music. They might have had a beer or two, but that was about it. That was the extent of their partying. It was, oh man, it was like a Banana Republic commercial, basically. It was, I don't know, but I like the place. I like it. I can't help it. Oh, geez. All right, so another random thought. I might have shared this one with you before. I don't quite remember. But this is a billion-dollar idea, and I trust you guys not to steal it from me, okay? Billion-dollar idea. This is what I want to do. I want to find a way to get Xanax and melatonin and, like, put it in an aerosol form and then pump it through the air conditioning system on the plane. So the passengers sit down, and there's like a device in the seat that measures their weight, kind of like the seat in your passenger seat in your car, detects weight for optimum airbag deployment, okay? Same deal, same concept, same sensor, detects the weight of the passenger so it can calculate the optimum dosage of Xanax and melatonin, and it just, right in the face. They get a blast of gas right in the face, and by the time boarding is complete, they just kind of zone out for 9 hours. They're not really awake, not really asleep. They don't ask for anything. They're just there, spaced out, relaxed, totally just they're just there, basically. Not bothering anybody, not bothering us, that's for sure. That's really all that matters. And, by the time the plane arrives in the destination city and they just kind of wake up a little bit and grab their shit and walk out of the plane, and it's the greatest flight ever. Think of the net promoter scores, because that's all that matters these days. The net promoter score would go through the roof. Through the fucking roof, I swear to God. They just sit down, they zone out for 9 hours. The flight feels like it's 10 seconds. Wow, we're already here? Well, how about that? I'm not even tired. Huh. Telling you, billion-dollar idea. Okay, so I just recently flew with this purser that didn't quite get my sense of humor. And that in itself was funny to me. So we were running a little late, and we're, thinking like, okay, we're going to do an express service, in business class so these people can eat and get some sleep. And I suggested I just stand over them and say, are you done yet? Are you finished? How about now? I think you're done eating. Yeah, I think you're done eating. Just hand me the tray. I was completely joking. And the purser's like, I think you may have chosen the wrong career. All because, I'm quote-unquote grumpy. I'm the grumpy stew, and I wish that was the first time I've been told I'm in the wrong career choice, but, what can you do? It's just who I am. Another thing I like to do, I like to fuck with people. I mess with the passengers, and the fucking with them starts the second they step on the plane. I don't wait. I don't give them a warm-up period. I don't let them kind of get, settled before I start fucking with them. No, I fuck with them immediately. They'll come in, for example, they'll come in, they'll go, hey, how you doing? I'll go, I'm at work. What do you want? Or if I'm in a particularly jaunty mood, I'll tell them I'm not dead yet. Well, I'm alive. Did you need something? Oh, man. You know what? If you can't fuck with these people, what's the point in showing up?
Do you ever feel less than fresh? Has your hookup last night left you with a painful rectal itch that you just can't reach? Well, now there's Summer's Eve for him, the only daily douche product specifically designed for men. Available in 3 flavors: cream pie, chocolate mousse, and lemon tart. Bring new meaning to the phrase, he's a little salty. Summer's Eve for him. Available now.
I have some interesting sponsors. All right, so time for the aviation news commentary part of the show. There's a lot going on. I'm going to preface this by saying Europe is an absolute shit show. If you are one of the idiots out there that's thinking of non-revving to Europe, don't go to Europe. This is not the summer to non-rev to Europe. If you're going to go to Europe, buy a ticket. You could probably get there on non-rev, but getting back to the United States is going to be very, very difficult. Lots and lots and lots and lots of employees and pass riders and buddy passes. I mean, you must really hate somebody to give them a buddy pass to fucking Paris. Because they're now living there, basically. They're stuck. They're living in the airport. So, anyway, don't non-rev. That's just, I'm going to step off my soapbox, but don't non-rev to Europe. Wait for the shit show to calm down. London, as is most of Europe, is a total shit show. It's a meltdown. London is being described as absolute chaos. Thousands of bags have piled up. It's been called Baggage Mountain. I guess you can go summit the hill, I suppose, and plant your flag at the top of Baggage Mountain. LHR is so constrained, they've asked airlines to cancel 10% of their passenger service. Delta ferried an empty plane, an empty A330, back to the United States with nothing but displaced luggage inside of it. They loaded the fucking thing full of bags, like 1,000 bags. They loaded it, sent it back to the United States because their passengers have been so impacted. Not just them, but everyone's passengers have been impacted. But they were smart enough to send a plane back to the United States full of fucking bags. Let's see here. Airport authorities have informed passengers that checked bags may or may not reach their destination within 1 to 2 days. Can you imagine that shit? And they're being upfront about it. Usually airlines say, oh, well, we never lose bags. That's unreal. We don't do that. Your bag will be right there when you land. They're being upfront. No, your bag might be there in a couple days. Don't go to the baggage claim looking for it for a couple days. We'll let you know. They're saying something like 15,000 bags have been piled up in LHR alone. That is unreal. 15,000 bags. Yeah, don't go looking for your luggage. You're not going to find it. Let's see. Authorities in LHR have blamed the baggage handling issues on unspecified quote-unquote technical errors. I guess technically they just weren't handling the bags. And then, you know what else is a technical error? Your mom. I just thought I'd add that in there. You're welcome. Actually, I think the technical error was having you. Just kidding. Just kidding. I like you people. I like you people. You're fine. You're fine. Let's see. The other clusterfuck of epic proportions is Schiphol in Amsterdam. One of probably the busiest airports in all of Europe. It's probably busier than Paris, perhaps. It is an immensely busy airport in Europe. And it is an absolute clusterfuck. Amsterdam's airport Schiphol is leading the summer 2022 European clusterfuck. Excuses range from staffing issues, which seems to be like the theme, and increased demand. Here's the thing with demand. This is what I don't get about the demand thing, is everybody's going, okay, demand is back, but it's not quite, summer 2019 demand, but demand is back. It's like virtually normal. And we have the staffing, we have the pilots, we have the flight attendants, we've got everything in place, we're ready to go. Bring it on, we're ready. And then I don't know if they were just lying about being ready for summer, or if they're, the models that projected demand for this summer, if the models were just too conservative, or they were not being quite honest with us. I don't know, but it seems most airlines really maybe weren't quite ready, or demand was just through the roof. They had no idea. Maybe it just seems like everybody was caught off guard regarding demand. Like they didn't quite expect this much demand, but here we are. Let's see here. Schiphol. Schiphol is considered the hub of the European fuckery, followed by the UK, Sweden, and Germany. Yeah. Let's see. What does that say? Lines for security have been so long. Flights had to be canceled. At one point, if I'm not mistaken, KLM has to stop selling tickets so they can accommodate all of the displaced passengers that got stuck in those long-ass lines. I guess they don't have enough people to staff security lines at Schiphol Airport. Seems it hasn't worked because, lines for security at Schiphol are still like 4 hours. They're telling you to allow 4 hours just to go through security. That doesn't count passport control. So, once again, if you plan on non-revving to Europe, don't. Wait for things to calm down. That would be the smart thing to do. It seems Paris CDG, Charles de Gaulle in Paris, is having their own set of problems. And speaking of European shit shows, Paris is always kind of a fucking mess. Paris is similarly has been beset by long lines and staffing problems. Staffing problems largely self-imposed, I might add. It seems the French strike at the drop of a hat. I mean, what is this? I only have 5 breaks today. We strike. We strike. We. They get their knickers in a bunch over the littlest shit, and they go on strike. And I take the day off. We go on strike. We come back tomorrow. In domestic U.S. news, buses are the thing. This is not exactly new news, but when I saw this a couple months ago, I was like, they're going to bus people to Philadelphia? I mean, that's kind of cheap. That's fucked up. But I got to thinking about it. It kind of makes sense. When I started flying, I worked for a regional airline. I was based in Chicago, and I would do these stupid fucking trips all day long, just going back to Milwaukee and back. It's 67 miles. It's an 11-minute flight just to Milwaukee and back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, these people could drive. You could drive there in like an hour and 10 minutes. But no, I'm going to take an 11-minute flight. It shouldn't even be offered. But now they can't because they don't have the staffing to do these stupid little 11-minute flights. So now they have buses. So some regional flying has been replaced by the buses and driven largely by pilot shortages, is my understanding. And it's once again, it's the short hops. It's the Milwaukee, Chicago, or like Allenstown to Philadelphia, I'm guessing. Basically, they decided people in small towns aren't important enough to fly. They're being asked to drive to a major airport or take the bus to a major airport. But Mama, we're going to town. Get the truck. Pack it up. We're going to town. Shoot. We got a flight to catch. We better get over there to, what's that say? George Bush Intercontinental? He's got an airport? All right. Hey, it's been fun. I appreciate you listening to the Grumpy Stew podcast. Once again, I'm Dylan, the world's grumpiest flight attendant. And it was nice talking to you today. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you like and subscribe to this little podcast, and all podcasts, really, whether you get it on the YouTube, on the Spotify, wherever you consume your digital media. It's important that you show support for that digital media, and it'll help improve the content that's out there for you. Make sure you check out thegrumpystew.com for everything Grumpy Stew related. It has all of the Twitters on it. All the Twitters are on thegrumpystew.com. It's got the Instagram. It's got the actual Twitter. It's got the Facebook. It's got the YouTube feed. It's got it all. All right there on thegrumpystew.com. Check it out. I guess that's about it. Nice talking to you guys. Look forward to doing it again soon. Make sure you say your prayers to Jetway Jesus. He's your little buddy in the Jetway. Performing miracles on every flight. That's what he does. He's just a giver. Anyway, you guys take care. Talk to you soon.